your hand if you bought yourself a designer item for Christmas, and raise your hand again when you feel guilty about how much you've spent on yourself versus everyone else. Hey everyone, Your Lady Vintage Bags here, your go-to girl if you love pre-loved vintage and affordable designer handbags. Now guys, today is the day I finally finished my Christmas shopping. Yay, it's been a solid 2 weeks. I started my Christmas shopping, yes, 2 weeks ago, and I finally finished. And you know what? When you look at how much money you've spent on Christmas so far, it can be very stressful. Between my family, my in-laws, and any November and December birthdays, I have bought a total of 27 gifts. Yes, 27 gifts. And that does not include myself. It's like the gifts I bought for myself, they're not even counted in that 27 gifts. So that was a huge marathon in quantity and dollar value. Now, I don't know about you, but I always find Christmas to be like this kind of bipolar sort of time where on one hand you have a lot of cheer and joy, and on the other hand it's quite stressful because you're financially stressed out from spending, and also you're time poor because it's a really busy time. Like, I would say most people would agree with me that when you spend a lot of money, it stresses you out. And definitely that's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling some kind of way. Now, you may have thought 27 gifts. That is like too many gifts. Now, I know I am buying probably what's considered to be an unusually high amount of gifts, but between my side and my in-laws, this is all the people that I want to give a gift to. So I have chosen to buy this many people gifts. And because I'm choosing to buy this many gifts, I really need to get clever about what I'm choosing for them such that it will fit inside my gift giving budget. I mean, that's a lot of gifts, so I have to get really clever about it. And I mean, I'm the type of person, look, I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of person where I do take my gift giving like quite seriously. Like, I can get a little bit obsessive about it, particularly since about 2020. Ever since I started getting into like home organizing as like a hobby and trying to like declutter, or like I really started caring about decluttering, I take so much time into thinking about gifts, into thinking about how it's going to fit into that recipient's lifestyle or how useful it might be for them, because I'm really trying to not add clutter to people's lives, because lately I realized that clutter makes me feel stressed. And I've always had a lot of stuff, like I'm a clutter person. And so now that I'm starting to realize that clutter can cause stress, I'm trying to not add stress to other people by not trying to give them clutter. I mean, I'm giving them something, so essentially I am adding more to the household, but I'm trying to be really mindful and thoughtful in my gift giving as compared to like maybe the types of gifts that I gave pre-2020. And I mean, it's been a wild marathon. Like, I've been on this hardcore for like the last 2 weeks because I have so many people to go through and thinking about all their individual sort of needs and wants. And man, I'm exhausted and stressed by the end of this, especially when I finally tallied up my spend and looked at my bank account. Yes, I found that very stressful. It almost feels like when you take on like a work project, but the deadline is like the Christmas party where you got to hand them the gift. I don't know, it kind of sounds weird, but that's kind of like what it feels like. It's going hard. Have to get it by the deadline. Got to think about like all the things that could go wrong, give yourself enough time to get the item, check it out, return it if you need to, reorder a new time if you need to, give yourself enough time in cases of shipping mishap. My gosh. That was stressful. But I digress. After all that sort of marathon and hard work and thinking and spending, I think I'm pretty happy with what I got for everyone who I'm giving a gift to. But what I wasn't happy about was when I finally looked at the total spend, I looked at how much I'd spent on myself. And guys, this year, I got myself 2 designer handbags. Yes, 2 designer handbags. And I looked at how much of the spend pie was just on myself. And I started feeling some kind of way. Like, maybe it's because I just got my period today and I just finished my Christmas shopping today, and then I've just got these hormones and emotions running through me. Hit the like button if you know I'm talking about first day of the period. Can get a little bit like emotional. And now I'm feeling some kind of way. And to be honest, I was not. Zero plans on getting myself any handbags for Christmas. I was planning on spending like maybe like getting myself like a fun dress or maybe like a appliance or something. I wasn't planning on getting designer handbags. Like, at the end of the day, these designer handbags, we love them, but they're frivolous. They're frivolous. And they're for like times really when, you know, you're doing well financially. That's really when you buy yourself gifts like this. But what happened was, even though I planned on not buying myself anything designer, in November, a 20% off promo code came up on eBay Australia, and it was for some Japanese consignment stores. So some of the Japanese resellers, and I did the worst thing you could possibly do. I started browsing. And you know what browsing leads to? Browsing leads to buying. And you know what that led to? Buying myself 2 designer handbags. Now, these handbags I will be unboxing for Christmas, so keep an eye out for that unboxing. But yes, so that is what happened. Naughty me started browsing, caught up in FOMO and caught up in, you know, the price. I'm like, oh, it's on sale. And then, yes, bam, buy now 1 bag. Bam, buy now 2 bags. So that's what I feel guilty about. I feel guilty about how much I spent on myself this Christmas compared to how much I spent on my family and friends. Does anyone else feel this same way? If you've bought a designer handbag for yourself this Christmas, put your hand up. If you feel guilty about the amount you've spent on yourself this Christmas, especially when you compare it to the amount you've spent total on all the other gifts, put your hand up. And I mean, at the end of the day, I bought 27 gifts. So that is gonna add up. Like, my total spend is not gonna be small with 27 gifts, not even counting what I bought for myself. When you're buying 27 gifts, you're gonna be spending quite a bit. Like, just say, we're talking Australian dollars because that's where I am. But so just say I spent only $20 per person max, $20 cap per person. For 27 gifts, I'm already over $500 for my Christmas gift spend. Now, for some people, that might be like, oh, look, it's not that bad. Like, $500 is okay. But for other people, $500, they can't do that. That's not in their budget. That means they're having to cut down their groceries. That means they're going to be behind on their utilities. So $500 on Christmas gifts, and I'm not saying that's what I spent, but that was just the example. Did I end up spending more than $500? You know, it can really start to stress you out when you're spending an unusual amount that month. And that's what happens in December. And I started in November because I wanted to give myself plenty of time. And you know, I always find the beginning of my Christmas spending marathon to be fun because you haven't spent anything yet, so your bank account's still looking like it's okay. Then you start thinking, oh, what about this? And you're browsing and you're getting ideas and it's all fun. And it's like, you know, kind of get to do some shopping, but you don't feel guilty because it's not for yourself. And then, you know, then 1 gift, 2 gifts, 3 gifts. And then, oh, you know, then you get to the end of the marathon and I feel exhausted. Like, I feel stressed because some of the orders were coming late. I feel stressed because some of the products that arrived, it just was not what I was imagining. So I needed time to send them back, needed time to reorder new things. And that's exactly why I start my Christmas shopping in November, to take into account all these mishaps that can happen, especially when you're shopping online. Like, you don't really know until you've got the product in front of you because you need to see it and feel it. Like, I'm a really tactile person. I need to feel the quality of something because I need to know based off what I know about that person. Like, I have some people who I'm giving gifts to where they don't really care about quality that much as long as like it functions well. And I know some of the people that I'm giving gifts to, they care. Like, they're quite picky. It has to be like a certain quality because they only buy themselves a certain quality. And if I go below what they would buy themselves, the gift will be like, you know, of not the right use for them because it won't be the type of thing that they would normally buy themselves. And honestly, I think my gift giving model is like a little bit unsustainable. So I'm giving gifts to both children and adults on my side and my in-law side. And like 27 gifts, man, that's like heaps. That's heaps and heaps of gifts. Like, there's really no need for me to be buying so many gifts. Like, I know families, and all families are different, but I know families that make it a more sustainable approach that will give the kids a gift, but amongst the adults, what we'll do is we'll do a Kris Kringle so that each adult only has to buy 1 gift, and then we can buy each other like 1 good gift because we can make the budget a bit higher. Like, there's really no need for every adult to buy every other adult a gift, because not everyone cares about Christmas presents. Like, I know a lot of particularly like males, they don't care. They don't really care if they get a Christmas gift. And honestly, they don't want to be going out shopping for a Christmas gift either. Like, they probably don't even care about both sides, the giving or the receiving. I think it's probably more of like a girl thing where we care about gifts a bit more. But I think that my gift giving model is unsustainable. And there'll be some point in time where I'll probably end up changing it because I won't be able to do 27 gifts every year forever. But I have been doing these 27 gifts since I first started working. So it's been going on a long time. But for couples, you know, I do like a couple gift versus individual gifts. So I find that is, and that's still, I'm still at 27 gifts. So, but I still want to give like everyone a gift because my family have always been very good to me. They've always raised me in a really loving environment, my parents, my siblings. So this is the little bit of me giving back. And I think that's actually the part that makes me feel guilty, is because the whole point is I want to give back to them. And then I look at how much I've spent on myself and I go, oh my gosh, that's selfish. Like, look how much I spent on myself. And then look how much I'm spending on everyone else. Like, but then at the same time, it doesn't make sense if I go and buy everyone a design, like the dollar value of buying everyone a designer bag. That's completely unsustainable. Like, I'm not that rich. And they wouldn't expect me to spend that much on them anyway. And then the flip side would be, okay, well then no designer bag for me, but then, which is what I was planning, but then I've already done it. And I'm not giving back the designer bags, I'm keeping them. So now I've got this kind of like guilt brewing inside of me. Does anyone else kind of feel what I'm feeling? Anyone else who's bought themselves a big ticket item this Christmas feel what I'm feeling, that this guilt brewing inside of me about how much I'm spent on myself? Maybe it's just my periods talking. I don't know. Now, what I find to be quite interesting is earlier in the year, I'd bought these 2 Louis Vuitton bags already, and I didn't feel any guilt at that time. So I think this is like specifically like a Christmas guilt that I'm feeling because I'm buying other people gifts at the same time I bought myself a gift, and then because I'm looking and comparing the numbers, and that's where the guilt's kind of stemming from. And it's probably because I literally just crunched the numbers before making this video. Like literally just finished my shopping and then reviewing my bank account so I can kind of just get on top of my budgeting for the rest of the month. And then I went, oh no. Well, number one, I way overspent. I overspent on myself, on the presents that I bought for myself. And then adding on top of that, I did spend more this year on Christmas than I did last year on everyone else's gift too. So both ways had been an overspend, and so then the total spend was an overspend, and I think it made me feel stressed out. So let me know, are any of you also stressed about the Christmas spend this year? And let me know if anyone else has any Christmas spend guilt on yourself. If you also feel like a little bit guilty, a little bit selfish on how much you spent on yourself, especially if you bought yourself a designer handbag or maybe 2. And also let me know if you agree with me in that you think or you feel as though Christmas can be a really bipolar time. Like on the one hand, you've got cheer and joy. On the other hand, you've got financial and time stress. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you did buy yourself a designer item, I'd love to hear what it was if you want to put it in the comment section down below. And for anyone who's been tempted by the Hermes Mini Kelly, I actually have a dupe here that I bought that I test drove to see if I would like the Hermes Mini Kelly. And I'll leave my video where I show you my thoughts after my experience test driving the dupe here for you to carry on with next.